This is Eric Hunker, Front Row Report, and today we're sitting here with John Bush, formerly of Anthrax, always of Amored Saint. How's it going, John?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Good. Real good, man. Let's start out right off into
Let's start out one thing first.
Sure.
And I'm pretty good with my memory.
Okay.
Long-term memory. And I'm pretty good at remembering shows. I don't think Amored Saints ever played Pittsburgh.
As far as I can recall, no, because I'd have been here.
Yeah, I don't think we ever played Pittsburgh. I think it was the first time we ever been here.
Yeah,
I played here obviously a few times in the history with Anthrax, but I don't think Amored Saint has ever played. As a matter of fact, the one and only time we were supposed to play was with Quiet Riot and Whitesnake, our first tour.
Is that right?
And we got bumped off the bill while we were on that tour because it was a stage issue, and so we spent the whole time watching Whitesnake in the front row rocking out. But that was the only time that we were supposed to play Pittsburgh. Here. So this is our first time.
Well, cool.
So we're happy.
Well, I'm glad to finally have you here, man. As a guy who's been on since the first EP, you know, it's a long time coming.
Well, we played Harrisburg a couple of times. We played York, Pennsylvania. We played Altoona, Pennsylvania. We obviously played Philly, but we never played Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so I've traveled to see you at a couple other. If you're in a reasonable distance, I'd like to go anyway. So I have seen you with Saint, but this is my first time with you tonight here in Pittsburgh.
Cool.
So that's cool.
I just wanted to verify that because I thought my memory served me right.
Yeah, you're definitely point on right with that. The new album, how did it come about? What made you guys at this point decide that you wanted to create some new music and go back into the studio?
It's pretty much as simple as Joey just saying, I have some ideas, you want to work on something, as simple as that is. There's not like some big grand plan of, okay, it's time to make a record, everybody get ready, blah, blah, blah. It's about I have some cool ideas. I think that I'm going to send them to you and work on them, and we'll go from there. So it's really bare bones.
Okay. So you shoot ideas back and forth via the net, and then do you ever just get together and just let it happen organically, or does that kind of just happen when you hit the studio?
Well, the days of Amored Saint, all getting together in a rehearsal studio and spending 4 or 5 hours and working on tunes it's not that way anymore. Everybody's got families and jobs, and it's just not realistic.
Right.
So those were fun times for the most part. But it's just not the way we can be as productive as possible. So what we do is send ideas. Joey, who wrote the bulk of the music, sends me some music. I'll burn it onto a CD. I listen to it in my minivan where I've spent a lot of my time driving my kids around and doing various things. It's a pretty good stereo system in there. Nice. Town and Country, Chrysler. And then I'll just work on stuff in there. I've probably written the last couple records in my minivan. I have a book of lyrical ideas that I consult and see if any ideas kind of happen with the music, if they kind of jive together, and then I'll just get the ball rolling. I'll pull over though when I want to write stuff.
Right.
Start to write as I'm driving.
That's right. See, always worried about safety, people.
That's right.
Now, when you get together and you start to do writing, or when you're just writing in your van, does fan expectation of your sound come into it, or is it really more you just still trying to challenge yourself as an artist at this point?
I always say that we're not going to make the Amored Saint bluegrass trip hop record. We're Amored Saint.
Right.
We are a hard rock heavy metal band with a bluesy style and soulful approach. So we're always going to know what we are.
Right.
We don't expect people to go and give them something that sounds like Radiohead, even though I love Radiohead. We're not going to do that. So we do our thing, and we know that there's a general kind of vibe to it. That being said, we want to push the boundaries as much as possible. To me, I don't even want to make a record if we're not going to make something that I think is challenging us and pushing us in the utmost of ways. We're not a kind of band, obviously the way we've worked over the last 20 years, in particular last 10, is not kind of the norm. We don't make a record, go on tour, go back, make a record, go on tour. We don't do that. It's just not the way the band works these days. So we wanted to make music that we thought was awesome and challenging to us and challenging to our fans and pushing the boundaries and incorporating lots of different instruments and different writing techniques and different writing styles and lengthier songs if need be. So all that stuff was important to us. And that's what we want to do. And then everything else is secondary to that.
Well, the album, even though it's an Amored Saint album, it does cover a lot of ground. I mean, there's vintage sounds in there. There's more thrashier sounds. There's even like hints of your time in Anthrax in there. And then there's total left curves like Dive.
Right.
I mean, nobody saw that coming, but it's brilliant. I mean, it's absolutely brilliant.
Thank you very much. Well, our theory is we'll be honest with ourselves. If we do something, I'd rather try something and then go, maybe that's not quite right, or maybe that's a little outside the boundaries. But we would rather try something and run with it than say, okay, let's kind of keep it simple, and this is what people want. And to me, I would be unsatisfied as a musician if I did that. If I just said, we'll make the kind of bare bones standard Amored Saint record and we'll give that to the fans. To me, that would be a cop-out, and I would be unhappy doing that.
Okay. Now, you guys are back with Metal Blade, working with Brian Slagle. Good to be back home?
Well, we've been with Metal Blade now for a while. I mean, we only weren't when we were with the first 3 records with Chrysalis. So right. Symbol of Salvation was our return to Metal Blade, because the first EP was with Metal Blade. And then after that, we've been there since. And Metal Blade, Amored Saint is a family vibe, and it really is. I'm not just saying that. We go, Gonzo, Joey, Phil and myself's friendship goes back since we were 8 years old.
Oh yeah.
Jeff I've known over 30 years. So we are a family. It really is that way. And Metal Blade is an extension of that family. And Metal Blade, number one, Tracy is Joey's wife, and she's the president. Has been for a long time. Slagle we've known since the beginning of Amored Saint. So a lot of the employees and Mike Faley, these are people that we've known for a long time. So Metal Blade's an extension of the family of Amored Saint, and that's what keeps it cool.
I imagine at this point, is there any pressure coming from them from an album, or do you guys just kind of get total creative freedom at this point?
No, Brian lets us run with it. I mean, we send him stuff when we are close to being done writing, but we didn't really seek his approval. I think that if we gave him something and he was dissatisfied, he would tell us. But he seemed to love it. And Metal Blade. This is not a cash cow for Metal Blade. It's not like they're waiting for the Amored Saint record so they can, kind of renovate the offices. It's not going to happen like that. We're very fortunate that Metal Blade wants us still on the label,
right,
and that Brian wants to keep putting out Amored Saint records, and we're grateful for it. So, it's a perfect scenario for us.
Okay, let's real quick. Let's get into a little bit of the track breakdown, because, like I say, the title track comes off as vintage Amored Saint, could have been on March of the Saint, you know what I mean? And then there's stuff like debauchery, there's porn addiction topics in it, you've got In an Instant about the bombings, I mean, and then the album ends off with Up Yours, which is just a total lighthearted hello.
Yeah, it's fun.
So is that intentional to like make it vary that much up, or is it just kind of happened that way?
It just happened. I mean, I write every song lyrically according to the music that I'm given, and if it feels like it should go a certain way, I just run with it, and then I write. And I'm really proud of the lyrics I wrote. I think I kind of pushed the boundaries, and I always want to challenge myself to be creative on that level, and not limit it to heavy metal type of lyrics. I don't care about that. I want to write stuff that is, like I said, fulfilling to me. So, if something inspires me, then I run with it. And then sometimes I'll even write lyrics where I'll start writing with a certain topic in mind, and then it kind of changes and morphs into something else. So, unfortunate that I'm able still to write lyrics that they come easily to me, because sometimes you can get writer's blocks, and
right.
I don't. I still love writing lyrics, and it's coming pretty easily to me.
That's cool. Another new element on this album, you guys had Pearl doing some backups with you.
Right.
How was it working with Pearl again? Was there any awkwardness because of the way things ended?
No, it's all great, man. Pearl and Scott, I mean, I see them pretty often. Joey and Tracy are very close friends with Scott and Pearl. We see them at kids' parties and such. I actually sang at Pearl's 40th birthday party that Scott put on for her. We did Safe Home, which was fun. So that's all good. I love the idea of me doing kind of a duet, in particular with a woman, and it being kind of a rocker, not your standard ballady kind of song. So it was great, and she tore it up, and she did an awesome job.
Well, you guys both have an element of rasp to your voice that just complemented one another so well on it.
Yeah, she sounds like the female Bush on that track, at least.
Right on, right? Now, after all this time, how do you guys, for one, maintain such a high quality and standard for your stuff, and two, how do you keep your voice in shape after all this time, man?
Well, again, we seek a high quality because we aren't the standard band that kind of, like I said, does that kind of hamster wheel thing where you make a record, go on tour, make a record, go on tour. It's not the way the band kind of worked out, by me obviously leaving to go be in Anthrax. The band disbanded for a while. Then I kind of had something else going on with my wife and my kids, and Joey had a kid, and we kind of delved into the being a family guy, which is a great, rewarding part of life. So, Amored Saint kind of coexists with that, which is great, because I think when we do play and when we do records, it's exciting. It's not like, okay, here we go again. We really actually enjoy doing it, and I think it keeps it fresh. Vocally, it's a challenge. I'm 52 years old, and singing Raising Fear when I was 24 was, a long time ago. So I try to change things up a little bit, although of course I want to sound as true as possible to the original recordings. But I've had some vocal troubles prior to this tour starting, and I was quite concerned actually. But I'm seeing to coming out of it, luckily. And being a singer is kind of annoying. You can't, you got to take care of yourself. You're not the bass player. I'm nothing against bass players, but you gotta. It's a different type of working. This is your instrument. It's body, and so I kind of try to eliminate coffee, which is a drag because I love coffee. Try to not eating any spicy foods. Take antacids because it helps with reflux, and just really be meticulous about working with my voice. And I haven't drank anything for a while, but I still like to drink, and I want to drink. And as soon as this tour is over, I will. But it's just taking care of yourself. I didn't always do that in the early days of Amored Saint, and even in my days of Anthrax. I probably am vocally in the best health of my life. So.
Well, you're doing, at least you were doing a lot of voiceover work as well, which is wear and tear on your voice nonetheless. How was that? Is it similar at all to going in the studio with Saint, or is it completely different?
It's similar. There's a lot of parallels to doing voiceover work, to making music. You have agents, and you have that scenario. And you're using your voice. That was one of the reasons I tried to get into it, is I figured this is a nice transition from singing to doing that. So it's been great. It's very competitive. It's a tough market to break, because
does the work come to you, or do you have to seek it out?
Well, I have an agent, and then they send me on a lot of auditions, and you don't always get them. It's very kind of feast and famine, and it's fun. It's a great thing to do. It's just hard when people like Robert Downey Jr. and George Clooney are doing voiceovers. I kind of can't compete with that. You know what I'm saying? Unless I want to pay somebody a lot less money, then I'm your man.
Let's talk about the tour a little bit. You guys are out with Saxon. How's that going so far?
Oh, it's great. Saxon guys are awesome. They're allowing us to use their backline, which is incredibly cool. They're really great guys. They sound great every night. They're legends. Super nice people. We've done a bunch of dates with them. I think we're going to end up doing like 17 shows or so once it's all done. So it's been great. They're a classic band.
Cool. I heard some rumors. Is there a couple shows where Joey's pulling double duty? He's going to be playing with Fates too?
Well, he's doing some shows with Fates Warning coming up, but that's not with Amored Saint.
Not the same thing.
We're not playing on the same.
I kind of, when I heard the rumor, it kind of made me feel like he was doing double duty in one night, and I was like, holy hell, that's a lot.
That'd be a lot of work for Joey. And Joey's basically like the manager, the tour manager, the bass player. Joey wears many hats, and he wears them very well, but not playing in two bands on the same day. But that might bring him down.
Cool. How many new songs you guys are doing in the set? And
we're actually doing two tonight.
Cool.
But
which two?
I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Because we haven't played here, so we kind of, we know we have a catalog, and we like to play a song off every record if possible.
Right.
So, and since we've never played here, we figure we should probably try to kind of go back. So, but we love a new record, and we usually play about 3 songs on average live.
That's cool. And now after this, I know you guys will be heading overseas. You'll be doing like Bloodstock, Bakken.
We did that already.
Oh, did you do them already?
Summer, yes.
Oh, okay. See, look at that. I'm lost, people.
That's okay.
How was that? Is it different preparing for a show of that magnitude?
Well, a little bit. You're playing to a festival, so you want to be kind of keep your head up and pay attention to the audience, and work the crowd, especially as a singer. But it's great. We had some great shows in Europe and a lot of fun, and we had a great tour there. So hopefully we're going to go back to Germany at the end of December, or beginning of December, doing a couple more festivals indoor, because playing outdoor in December in Germany would probably be really cold.
Right.
But it's going to be cool with Accept and Hammerfall, and we're hoping to do more dates in the States, because there's a lot of places that we haven't played. There's a lot of places in Europe we haven't played in a long time that we hope to get to. And we've never been to Japan. We've never been to South America. So we're hoping that, I'm hoping that by the end of next year, we're going to look back and go, wow, we played a lot of shows.
No doubt. Cool. So how is life, I know with age and everything, how is life on the road for you these days, different from the old days? And how do you, with all the projects and everything else that you guys do, how do you find time for family?
Well, my family is the most important thing in my life. That's number one. It comes before the band, sorry, but it does.
As it should.
Of course. I love my kids, and my wife is a rock star. She takes care of everything like an absolute beast. So she's amazing, and we focus. And Tracy's an awesome wife to Joey, and Phil has a child that a kid who's like 15 now, so he likes spending time with him. And we're family is very important to us. So we try to jive it all together and make it work, and I think we've been doing pretty well with that. And we're actually in a van right now traveling, just the 5 of us and 1 crew guy, and we're able to do that because the Saxon guys are allowing us to use their backline. But we've been great. Everyone's in the car. Everyone's getting along. There's cool vibes. We've been playing music. Everything's good. We're vibing out. It's going very well, actually. So
cool. So there was no, since you've been friends forever, there was no awkwardness when you came back or anything. Just kind of like coming back home. Well, after the time with Anthrax, when you came back into the band, was it weird at all to you?
We've had a few things that we had to kind of iron out, but it's been fine. We try to. The Anthrax guys, certainly Scott and I are buddies, and we speak a lot. I haven't talked to Charlie and Frankie too much in the last few years, but I'm super proud of all the music I made in Anthrax. I think we made some killer records.
Oh my God, man. Volume 8, The Threat is Will. And I'm sorry for all you Joey lovers, and it's nothing against him, but The Greater Two Evils, that was
it's all right. I love Joey. Joey Belladonna's a great singer, and he's got his voice sounds great with Anthrax, and that's, he's a classic. So it's all good. I'm proud of all the music I've made. I always feel, happy when I hear songs I've done, and with the band. I actually wish they would play more tunes, but I understand why they don't.
Right.
And, so it's all good.
I understand. I saw on the internet. I think it was on Blabbermouth that Frankie just openly said how much he loves and misses you, and how much he loves the new Amored Saint. Did you see that?
I did not see that, but that's...
It just showed up last night around
really?
midnight. Him openly saying, because that's the heading. It says Frank Bello admits he loves John Bush.
Well, Frank and I were very close friends.
I
stayed at Frank's house when we were writing We've Come For You All. I was living in his house with him, so... and we were always close. I was always close with all those guys. I had a very unique relationship with Frankie, Charlie, and Scott, and they were all very different. So, again, time elapses. Sometimes time has to go by. It's like a relationship with a man and a woman. Sometimes you kind of need time to elapse, and then you can come back and go, okay, it's cool, But I was very, very. Those guys were my brothers for like 13 years. So. It's all good. I think,
It's obvious he feels the same way, because he basically just said, kind of like you, he would love to see you more, but family always comes first.
Yeah. Well, he probably misses busting my balls. That's what he probably misses most, I'm sure. Which it's okay.
Okay. I got to ask you this, and I know both you and Joey at a point in time where, and I'm sure you've been beat to death with this, both of you were offered a position in Metallica, but both declined. Do you ever have any regret about that?
It wasn't meant to be. It wasn't, certainly for me, it wasn't meant to be. It was, I can't imagine anybody singing Metallica besides James, obviously. Just wasn't fate. It was, Amored Saint was actually a band at that time that was getting big in the local scene. Metallica was certainly getting big too, but we were like our buddies, and we were doing well, and this was my band, so to go and quit and join another band didn't make any sense to me. Right. It just was not. I don't need that kind of pressure to you know, have been the singer of Metallica. That's just I wasn't meant to be there. But
I'm
James
glad
is
that
awesome.
you did, because there's so much good music I would have missed out on had you done
That's
that.
true. Well, James, I mean, there's very few singers that have progressed in rock as well as James Hetfield did. And I mean that with all sincerity. That dude, if you listen to Kill 'Em All and then you listen to the Black album, I mean, he was like, he became an amazing vocalist.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
really did. So.
This is a kind of a touchy subject, but I always like to kind of ask guys about it. The state of music today, the state of the downloading, you know, it's so easy to get your stuff out, but you don't get paid for it anymore. Do you have any opinion on that at all? Or?
You know, I think it's important to buy records. I still try to go to the record store, Amoeba in LA, and purchase records. I don't know. You can't walk into a 7-Eleven and just steal a Butterfinger. Why should you get music for free? This is what people do to earn a living. So I don't understand that. You know, stream music, that's fine. You know, tape trading, things like that, to turn people on, fine. But I still purchase records. I just bought the last Faith No More record.
Me
I
too,
want to
man.
buy records.
I'm all about the package.
So, I mean, this is how you earn a living. If you don't do that, then there won't be any bands. So, I mean, I don't know. You know, look, what does a CD cost? $15. It's like a 4 frappuccinos for you and your buddies. You know, which people are buying at Starbucks every day.
Yes.
So it's like, just buy records. You can buy T-shirts. I think that you have to kind of give some money to bands so they can continue making music and be bands. So if you know, to stream music, to hear stuff, to see whether or not you want to buy it, I totally understand it, because I do that.
Right.
You know, I'll go to iTunes or whatever and I'll check out a band I've heard of, and if I don't like it, then I may not invest the money, but if I like it, then I'll go buy the record.
Me too. So I know we're running short on time here, so let me hit you
I
just
have
a
to warm
couple.
up so I can try to sing it.
Okay. Well, I'll make it real quick then. Is there anything we haven't hit on tonight that you want the fans to know about?
Just all fans of Amored Saint have been super loyal to us, and we're very, very grateful. You know, we feel like I kind of feel like our vibe is maybe better than it's ever been. Maybe as good as it was when we were just starting out. There's something really cool about One Hands Down and the music we've made, and just our vibe right now. I'm a little late because we're kind of older guys now, but no, we're having a lot of fun. There's a lot of unity, and I think the fans can feel that, and so and the fans make it. So Thank you very much.
All right, guys. Well, running out of time, so we're going to wrap it up. Album is Win Hands Down. Hands down the best thing good God, so sorry.
That's all right. Okay.
Amored Saint has done in a very long time, and that's nothing against La Raza, because I loved it.
No.
But this album just hit me so good. So buy the album. They're out on tour. Go to the show. Till the next time, this is Eric Hunker for the Front Row Report, where as always, we keep you on the front lines of music. Thank you much.
No problem, bud.